In the deep shadows of history, there's a name that just echoes with incredible stories of faith, of power, and of a shocking betrayal: the Knights Templar. There's a story of one of the most meteoric rises and one of the most brutal falls in the entire medieval world. So, how did it all happen?
I mean, think about it for a second. What could possibly motivate thousands of men to march to the other side of the known world, convinced that God himself wanted them to? And how does an order of warrior monks, guys who swore a vow of poverty, become the most powerful bankers in all of Europe? How did holy soldiers end up condemned as heretics and burned at the stake? To get this, to really understand this incredible story, we have to go right back to the beginning.
To really get the Templars, you have to picture the world they were born into. And believe me, it was a world that was absolutely on fire with the idea of holy war.
So, in 1095, at the Council of Clermont, Pope Urban II gets up and delivers a speech that basically sets the world on fire. He calls on the Knights of Christendom to march east and take back the holy city of Jerusalem. And against all odds, they actually do it. But this amazing victory, well, it created a brand new and very deadly problem.
So with Jerusalem back in Christian hands, pilgrims start pouring into the region. But here's the thing, the journey was a death trap. The roads were just infested with bandits, and pilgrims were getting robbed, ambushed, and cut down, sometimes by the hundreds. The very people the Crusades were supposed to protect were now in more danger than ever before.
A holy city had been won, but the roads leading to it were a complete bloodbath. This crisis needed a new kind of solution, an answer to a prayer that absolutely no one saw coming. So around the year 1119, a French knight named Hugues de Payens gets together with about 8 of his relatives, and he proposes a radical idea. They would create a new kind of brotherhood, a military order with one single mission: protect these pilgrims. They were given a place to stay on the Temple Mount, the very site of the biblical Temple of Solomon, and that's how they got their name, the Templars. You've probably seen their famous seal, right? The 2 knights sharing one horse? Well, that wasn't just some cool logo. It was a massive statement. It was a declaration of their vow of poverty, a powerful symbol of their humble, selfless mission. And this is what made them so different. They weren't just soldiers, they were also monks. They took the same vows: poverty, chastity, obedience. This idea of blending a warrior and a monk into one, it was completely revolutionary. A new kind of knighthood, fighting not for a king or for land, but for God himself. And from this tiny band of just 9 guys, the Templars just exploded onto the world stage. Their reputation for insane discipline and courage spread like wildfire, and they quickly became the absolute elite fighting force of the Crusades. This quote comes from their biggest cheerleader, Bernard of Clairvaux, who was one of the most powerful men in the church. His support was like a divine stamp of approval, and he just perfectly captured their whole mystique. They were doubly armed, protected by steel on the outside and by an unbreakable faith on the inside. So picture this. These guys in their iconic white robes with that bright red cross, they were the tip of the spear, the special forces of the Crusader armies. At legendary battles like Montgisard in 1177, a tiny force of Templars helped lead a much smaller Christian army to completely crush Saladin's massive force. They were, in a word, legendary. But here's where the story takes a fascinating turn. Their power wasn't just about swords and shields. In one of the greatest ironies in all of history, this order that swore an oath of poverty, well, they were about to invent international banking and become unimaginably wealthy. Just try to wrap your head around this. At their peak, they controlled a network of almost 1,000 castles and estates, stretching all the way from London to Jerusalem. We're talking farms, vineyards, they even owned the entire island of Cyprus at one point. It was, and this is no exaggeration, the world's first multinational corporation. So how'd they do it? Well, they came up with an absolutely brilliant solution to that whole pilgrims getting robbed and killed problem. They created a system of credit. A pilgrim could drop off his gold at the Templar house in London, get a coded piece of paper, travel to Jerusalem, and then cash that note in for the exact same amount. In a world without wire transfers, this was revolutionary. It was safe, it was efficient, and it made the Templars the most trusted bank in all of Europe. But you know how this goes. When you have that much power and that much wealth, you attract a lot of envy. The Templars' incredible success had made them powerful enemies, and it was that very success that was planting the seeds of their own spectacular and brutal downfall. The stage was set for an epic showdown. In one corner, you've got King Philip IV of France, ambitious, ruthless, and up to his eyeballs in debt to the Templars. In the other corner, you've got the Templars themselves, basically a state within a state who answered only to the Pope. And then comes the knockout blow. The last Crusader city in the Holy Land falls in 1291. All of a sudden, their main reason for existing is gone. They were rich, powerful, and now incredibly vulnerable.
And then it happened. The unthinkable. In a stunningly coordinated strike, King Philip's agents arrested every single Templar in France at the exact same time. The date, Friday, October 13th, would become infamous forever.
And the charges they leveled against them, they were just insane, designed to be as shocking and scandalous as possible. Heresy, blasphemy, worshiping a demonic head, corruption, you name it. And under horrific torture, of course, many knights confessed to these wild crimes, creating a scandal that shook the Christian world to its very core.
This one confession from a 21-year-old knight, it's just heartbreaking. It shows you exactly what was going on. He's admitting to the act that they tortured him into doing, but he's desperately trying to say, it wasn't in my heart. It gives you a window into the absolute fear and coercion that tore the order apart from the inside.
And the end came so fast. I mean, look at this. In less than 25 years, the Knights Templar go from being the defenders of Christendom to an order that is officially erased from existence. Their wealth was seized, and their final leader was condemned to be burned alive.
As the story goes, while the last Grandmaster, Jacques de Molay, was burning, he issued a final, chilling curse against the two men who did this to him, King Philip and Pope Clement. And whether you believe in curses or not, here's a fact. Both men were dead within a year, adding one last, dark layer of myth to the Templar legend.
So the order was destroyed, but their story? Oh, their story was just getting started. Their sudden, violent end created this huge vacuum, and for over 700 years, people have been filling it with secrets, conspiracies, and legends that just refuse to die.
In the end, the story of the Templars is this timeless warning about what happens when faith, money, and political power get dangerously tangled together. It's a story that forces us to ask, what were they, really? Pious soldiers betrayed by a greedy king, or an institution that just got too powerful to survive? The questions still echo today, making sure the Knights Templar are never truly forgotten.